What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, all right, we're coming back to Band-Maid. Yes, indeed, Band-Maid Fans Feeling You. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-boobity bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from SMB, and this is actually one of SMB's 3 prioritized requests for the month of May for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, SMB. Hope you enjoy the show. SMB wanted to see me react to this. It is Band-Maid with a tune called Shambles. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait, hold it, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This was posted by Band-Maid, no surprise there, and the video has 188,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Band-Maid Shambles official live video. Wah, wah, wah.
God damn! God damn! God damn!
Yeah, there's that word official. Coming off of their official page, if I remember correctly. Yep. Oh, brother. Look, you know what I'm going to say, so I'm not going to say it. All I'm going to say is we're going to just wait and see what happens and hope for the best. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to say something here, and I know it's going to upset a lot of Band-Maid fans.
It's a lot easier getting on than it is getting off. A la Space Mountain. Woo!
I'm going to trigger a whole mess of people when I say this right now. I really wish the entire song was built and extended out from that first minute and a half.
Your thoughts?
What?
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 Then what the fuck are you talking about, man?
What? What did you say, Sailor? You can't say that! He can't say that!
Pascal, down, heel.
Son, you're on your own.
I was digging everything I heard. The drumming, Connie's little drum solo, quote unquote drum solo at the beginning. I loved it. I thought that was very well done. Misa coming in on the bass, loved that. I believe the other guitar player was Miku. I believe it was. And the trade-off between the two, between Misa and Miku, I loved it. I loved everything that was happening there. The groove, the feel, the approach, the tone that they were both getting from their, well, technically all three of them, they were all getting from their respective instruments. They could have built the entire song around that. They could have made a 4 to 4.5 minute long song, all instrumental out of that, and I would have had absolutely no problem with it. I liked it. I liked everything I heard. Now that's not to say, I'm not trying to say that, you know, Psyche coming in with the vocals is going to ruin the song. I'm not saying that, okay? She just started to sing, so we'll find out what she's going to bring to the table. All I'm saying is that first minute and a half, if we could have tripled that out and made a 4.5 minute long song based around that, oh, that would have been nice. I would have really enjoyed the hell out of that. But as it is, it sounds like we're kicking into the main groove of the song. Psyche's coming in with the vocals. Kanawi's come in. She got everyone's attention with that big sustained chord, like to signal, okay, fun time's over. Let's get to work. I get it. I absolutely get it. So let's see what they're going to bring to the table now. Which is that halftime feel. I like that descending climb. Yeah, so this backing vocal track. Yep. Well, that just happened, didn't it? Okay. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Band-Maid with Shambles, a live performance of Shambles. This was a request from SMB, and this was actually one of SMB's 3 prioritized requests for the month of May for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go, SMB. Hope you enjoyed the show. I got a score, and I don't know. I'll have to wait and see how Band-Maid fans take this. I think I've heard in the comments they're called the fan base for Band-Maid are called the Band-Madiacs, or Madiacs in general, or just Madiacs or Band-Madiacs. I think I've seen that in the comments a few times. So we'll have to wait and see how the Band-Madiacs handle what I'm about to give here. We'll see. Starting off with the score, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.7. Yup, 8.7. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, an 8.7. What does that mean? Well, an 8.7 would translate to a great skill rating. So overall, I think this is a great song, okay? It would also get 4 to 5 stars and an A letter grade. So there you go, an 8.7, great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. I dug this tune. I thoroughly enjoyed this tune. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to this tune. A fun listen without question. I'm not gonna lie, that first minute and a half, I dug that. I really dug that. And again, I'm gonna say this, and I really hope people don't get upset with me when I say this, but I'm not gonna lie, man. When that minute and a half went by, and we hear Konami come up with that big chord, and I'm like, okay, what's happening now? And then Psyche got on the mic, and Psyche started to sing. I mean this with absolutely no disrespect meant towards Psyche. Okay, I absolutely mean no disrespect to her whatsoever. But I'm not gonna lie, folks. When she started to sing, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed because I was really enjoying that first minute and a half with the trade-offs and everybody getting the little swallow spotlights in, and I swear I heard Konami come in with that big chord, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna add her into the mix now. It's gonna be the 4 of them doing an instrumental. And then the instrumental got taken away, and it went just into a, typical Band-Maid song. And I was like, But listen, like I said, I mean absolutely no disrespect to Psyche in that regard. I don't. I was just really, really enjoying what was happening in that first minute and a half. And when Konami came in with that big chord, I'm like, oh, good. Now we're gonna have a 4-way dance. That's awesome. Even better, But unfortunately, that got taken away from me. But that's okay, because it was replaced with a hard-hitting, high-energy, driving, pulsing song that really had a lot of attitude behind it, had a lot of energy, a lot of drive, and I absolutely loved everything I heard on that song. The chordal progression, if I'm being honest, it's not the most complicated song I've ever heard from Band-Maid, but it was not easy to follow. Like I had to, they did a good job of compartmentalizing. Okay, here's the main riff, here's the verse, here's the pre-chorus, here's the chorus, and they were able to very clearly differentiate between them. So it wasn't a very repetitive song by any stretch. There was a lot of variety happening in there when it came to chordal progressions, which was nice. It kept me invested, it keeps me engaged, it keeps me interested in a listen, and that was very well done on their part. Good songwriting, really good songwriting. Their overall performance musically, from an instrumental standpoint, musicianship standpoint, everybody across the board sounded great. Everybody across the board sounded great. The drumming was great. Both guitar parts individually were great, and together they were great as well. I hesitate to say this, Misa's bass playing. Let's be honest here. Was it great bass playing? Yes, it was. It absolutely was. Very technical. Yes, a lot of movement up on the neck. And unfortunately, that's kind of the downfall of the song, is the bottom end would disappear a lot. The bass, the lower register notes would not be heard because she was constantly up on the neck. Now, like I said, what she was playing sounded good. What she was playing was technically impressive. Yes, absolutely it was. But when you're doing all of that and you sacrifice the low end for the song, and the song ends up sounding like it's missing something, it's missing that bottom end, it's missing those lower register notes, it can hurt the song. And unfortunately, I think it hurt the song a little bit. I really wish we had a little less up here and a little more down here. It would have filled out the song more, would have made the song sound even heavier. And honestly, would it have raised the score a little bit? It might have. I might have bumped it up a couple of extra tenths of a point if we had been more of a full sound in those sections where she was constantly coming up. I don't mind bass players coming up. I go up on the neck myself. I do, but I never stay up for more than a measure or two at the most before I want to get back down to the lower register and fill out the sound again. And there were times where she was up on the neck. I'm not talking about the first minute and a half. Look, the first minute and a half, that's one thing. The song hadn't fully kicked in yet. Once the song fully kicks in, it's the bass player, one of the bass player's responsibility is to fill out the low end and to fill out the sound. Take care of the lower register. And when you're up on the neck, up here for 4 to 8 measures straight, that bottom end's gonna suffer. There's just no way around it. So, did that hurt the score? It did a little bit. Did it really change anything? No. We would still be in the great range. Like if I went from, like let's say I did bump it up 0.2, it would go up to an 8.9. It would still be great. It would still be 4 stars. It would still be an A letter grade. Nothing would change other than an 8.9 to an 8.7. That's the only difference. So is it a huge deal? It's not a huge deal, but for me, especially as a bass player, it is noticeable. And I just could not let that go. Psyche's vocals on this sounded really nice, very strong, very powerful delivery on her part. I've heard her sing more impressively from a notational standpoint, like a range standpoint, but I gotta say, this is one of the strongest deliveries I've heard from her ever, if I'm not mistaken, or at least in a very long time. Great projection, great support. I mean, she was belting it. And she definitely had that attitude about her when she was singing it as well. You could hear it in the voice. I liked it. I liked everything she sang. I know I was a little disappointed when she started to sing, but in hindsight, looking at the song as a whole, I'm glad she did. So there's that. So yeah, that's how I'm coming up with that 8.7. As far as the live show goes, the live show, okay, you know how I feel about live shows. Live shows can either help your score or they can hurt your score. In this case, it didn't do either. It was pretty much a wash. I mean, let's go down the checklist. You'll see what I mean. Stage presence. Yeah, they always have stage presence. Their outfits are always going to give them stage presence. They look like performers, and they act like performers. So they're always going to have stage presence. They don't look like roadies. Stage energy. Psyche was sort of. That was pretty much it. But once the song kicked in, everybody pretty much got to their spots and stayed there. So not really a whole lot of stage energy. Stage interaction. Did I see any stage interaction? No, no stage interaction. So there was no stage interaction. Crowd interaction. Slightly. I'll give it the check. I did see a couple of times where Psyche did kind of reach out to the crowd, point out to the crowd. So that is crowd interaction. It's just not a lot. So I'll give that a check. It's a weak check, but it's a check. Let's see. Showmanship. Not really. Not really. Not a whole lot of showmanship happening on the stage this time. It was a pretty dry live visual performance. Production was good. The lighting was clearly designed for their for their show, for the song. So I will absolutely give the production a check. Like I said, we have a whole bunch of weak checks and a couple of no checks, and then we have production, which really helps. So it's a wash. You know, it didn't help, but it didn't hurt either. Okay, so the 8.7 really more than anything is for the song itself. So yeah, 8.7, I feel good about that score, and that's where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.7, which is a great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then it did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then, by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.